In a stunning revelation sure to rock the foundations of democracy, Congresswoman Delia Ramirez recently spoke a few words of Spanish on foreign soil and lived to tell about it. Porque yo soy guatemalteca con mucho orgullo. Primero que soy americana, she said, which translates to, because I am Guatemalan with great pride. First, I am American. Reasonable? Not to the guardians of monocultural virtue. Right-wing media swiftly mistranslated her words to mean, I'm Guatemalan before I'm American. A mortal sin in the eyes of the Babel Department of Homeland Security, newly rebranded apparently. The DHS even tweeted a quote from Theodore Roosevelt condemning hyphenated Americans, which is rich, coming from an agency that can barely manage floods but can weaponize a dangling clause. Then came the cries for Ramirez's denaturalization, a bold legal move, considering she was born in Chicago and has a better voting record than most of her critics. So what's this really about? Language, or rather, the myth that English is citizenship's secret password. As sociologist Pierre Bourdieu would say, if he hadn't been French and thus suspect, language isn't just about communication, it's symbolic capital. When a white man in Congress says he's Irish American, he's celebrating heritage. When a Latina says she's Chapina and proud, she's one taco away from treason. Ramirez's Spanish offended not because it was threatening, but because it wasn't subordinate. In Bourdieu's world, the power of speech depends not on what is said, but on who says it, and in what accent. English in this setup isn't just a language, it's a gatekeeping ritual, like knowing which fork to use at a nativist dinner party. This is where ethno-linguistic nationalism sneaks in with its monocle and trench coat. Imported from 19th century Europe, it tells us that true nations speak one language, usually badly and with flags. It's the idea that real Americans all sound like the local weather anchor and eat their vowels accordingly. By this logic, Ramirez, by daring to speak in another tongue, is not simply bilingual, she's bisuspect. It's an old trick. During World War I, German Americans were treated like enemy agents for reading Goethe or ordering schnitzel. The Babel Proclamation in Iowa banned foreign languages altogether, as if conjugating in public endangered the troops. Mexican-American kids were punished in schools for speaking Spanish until well into the 1980s because nothing says educational excellence like forced silence. Native children were literally beaten for speaking their tribal languages, an act of civilizing so compassionate it nearly erased entire tongues. More recently, Arab Americans were treated like ticking time bombs for speaking Arabic in airports or anywhere with acoustics. Now, enter Representative Ramirez. Her real transgression, breaking the illusion that America is monolingual by design rather than by domination. Legally, none of this holds water. The First Amendment protects speech and language choice, and denaturalization is reserved for those who commit fraud, not those who conjugate irregular verbs in public. But this was never about the law. It's about the ongoing effort to narrow who gets to count as American. And in that effort, the weapon of choice isn't a wall, it's a word. So let's be honest. This isn't a fight over syntax. It's a loyalty test dressed up in a grammar quiz. And Ramirez passed with flying colors. Just not the ones who think e pluribus unum was a typo.